all day, and I feel really bad about it.
Once I made the switch, just only sativa all the time, I found myself like,
enjoying it.
Weed, but also being productive.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
I stopped smoking sativa because I started noticing that every time I did, I had severe panic attacks.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Like that's the other side of it.
That's interesting.
I like a sativa heavy hybrid because it doesn't make me sleepy as much.
Well, on that note, we're here. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming to the Yeah Dude podcast. Very excited for this episode. I have a bunch of guests here. We got two newbies that never been here before. One of my favorite and hilarious people that I know here in Connecticut, Brittany. She's back. She's back on the fucking track. And then our two newbies here that I'm very excited about. We got Ish Gupta and Patrick McKinstry, everybody.
Hi, Pat.
I'm very excited about this podcast. What's cool about this podcast is me and fucking Patrick got a battle coming up down.
Gonna be very exciting.
We got a battle coming up, and this is the master. This is the master of the.
I think you were calling it the master event. I was like,
Oh no! You're the master of the event.
MC.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I thought this would be a fun thing to do, is to be able to sit down with you and just chat a little bit before we fucking roast. I think it'd be
Is this your
a good time.
You're getting to know. You know how comics exchange info is.
This is how we're gonna do it.
I mean, honestly, that's I think it's like a cool idea.
Well, and then we'll have clips out before so like people will get to see some of these clips before the roast, and if they want to come see us fucking eat each other's dicks, then they can do that. That's a weird phrase that I chose.
Really happening? Because like I'll come. You know.
How many times?
Oh, that's. I set
Sorry.
myself up for it. I did. That was my fault. Okay.
No, yeah, it's March 3rd, I think.
March 1st.
March 1st. Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's opening day for the league. So we're like in the league, but this is like when we start submitting like battles.
Oh, sweet.
And stuff. So we'll see how we rank against I think it's 7 other cities or 8 other cities.
This is pretty cool, man.
Are we able to like see our stats and stuff? Is it going to be like that crazy?
So they're gonna they do a podcast every week or so. We submit it the Thursday before, and then they rank it. It's like one battle that I got to submit. And we're only doing monthly, so like I assume some of the battles are going to be from the same like show. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Right.
got
Submit one battle from the March 1st, like 1 week, and then another battle, whoever else we have on the show. You guys are actually, I think, the only people we have booked right now, but
nice.
yeah, so then they there's like, I guess like a group of like maybe 3 or 4 people. They like rank them, and then each city gets points and stuff like
Yeah, how does that point thing, like, how does it work?
that.
Like,
I don't know.
not entirely sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I would imagine they have some kind of criteria, but they did not tell us to.
Interesting. How did you?
So
So
they have like a system already with the way that they've
They've been doing it.
Other like main league and stuff like that. So I imagine it's somewhat similar, but yeah.
how did you, like, who did it get, like, who's it get approved by? Like, how did we get Hartford Roast Battle into this league?
So we had a lot of judges and a lot of comics come up from the New York battles. That I do down in Astoria, Queens. Roasted at Grove 34. It's a great show, and they're like an official league battle. So they basically, I mean, a bunch of those guys put in a good word for us.
Sweet.
I messaged the dude when he was taking submissions because he had like a window where he was looking at new cities to add into the whole thing.
Oh, cool.
And then so I messaged him on that, and then we also got recommended like basically that day because I talked to that dude being like, hey, what are the details on this? And then he was like, oh, I'll hit him up and give him a good word.
That's sweet, man. It's sweet that
yeah.
I think that's kind of because so many people are doing comedy right now. It's like, I feel like that's kind of like the future of comedy, is like these little, like, there's going to be more pockets. Like, I think the roast battle thing kind of highlights that. Like, there's different cities, different places that like people, not everyone can move to New York and LA and stuff like that. So it's cool to see like other pocket cities and their like little scenes kind of like pop up. I think it's pretty cool to be a part of.
It's similar to kind of the Don't Tell model where they like have this business idea and they just find people to, implant it in different ways and stuff like that. And there's a couple other kind of production companies that are sort of following suit.
No, it's fucking Cool, man. It's fucking cool. Did you guys do anything?
It's cool.
It is growing like crazy.
Right now, yeah.
Which is interesting though, because I always like think about it. I'm like, man, like it's like your chances are like less or more depending on how you look at it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like writers, for example, publishing books. There's probably more writers publishing books now than ever. You're going to make a lot less money doing it, but I think there is more opportunity to like make a profession out of it just because the interest is up. Like there's so many people want to, like I was talking to a door guy in New York City and he was saying like now is better than ever for comedy because he's like used to be like 20 years ago, it used to be people went out to go see comedy to see a person. Now people go out to see comedy to watch comedy.
Yeah.
So it gives like more opportunity to somebody that doesn't have a known name.
Yeah, it definitely helps us in like a small town scene where like none of us have giant followings of any means, and
Not at all, dude. We got like on the YouTube, I mean, it got like we got like 47 people sometimes. Well, 130, 140 sometimes on a lucky day. So if you're fucking listening, thank you very much. We respect this shit. Then come to the roast battle March 1st.
The Elbow Room, actually.
Really, anything.
Every day at this point. Probably.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I believe they got a neon sign now at the Elbow Room. That's big news.
It's very bright though. So bright.
It's overly. It's kind of giant and bright.
The talk of Connecticut comedy is the new elbow room sign.
That's the thing in comedy in general is when you get a neon sign, that's like an upgrade.
Oh, I know. The people have been very impressed with my neon sign.
Dude, I was
here.
gonna comment on it. I was like,
yeah, it's pretty sweet.
if you opened up a place like dude, comedy club like
That would be
make sense.
It's a cool sign.
No, it is a cool sign. What's cool about it is I wanted to get a neon sign, but I was going to do it with like my face logo and all that stuff. And, but I didn't. But this was a gift from my mom and my sister for Christmas.
Oh, hell.
They just knew what I was about. Good fucking family.
Do you bring it to shows? Like, do you ever hang it?
I do. Yeah. So the last Hot Rod show that I do, because I do the monthly show in Hot Rod. So I bring it to the Hot Rod show.
Nice.
Put it in the background there now. And those shows have been going great. So if you're in the Middletown area, come to one of those motherfuckers. Because they're a lot of fun. It was a good time. You had a good one there, right?
I had a great time.
Yeah, it was a good time. They've been like packed out lately, like standing room in the back only.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That room is like I have only ever been to the mics there. I haven't gotten to a show. I did Corinne's roast, and that was like a decent amount of people, but it seems like a place where if it fills up, like
It's a fun room.
Yeah.
it'd be really good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna fix the lighting situation. What I realized for that room is the stage light blind. I mean, I get it, like a professional audience, stage light blinds you, but for a room that size, you need to see the audience.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a room that if there's only 30 people in the room and you could only see 2 of them, it's not good because like you need to be able to see the facial expressions on people's faces to like work that room correctly.
Well, you can't really read a room if you can't see the
If
room.
you can't see the room, and like when it's that small, so you can't read it off laughter. Like you need to be able to call people out and like look at them in the back and stuff like that. So I think that's what I learned on the last show because. Not taking this away from her, she would have killed regardless if she had the light in her face or not. But Shaquana was the only comic to step down to get the light out of her face, and she does crowd work anyway.
I was gonna say she talks to people.
That's her style. But like it reminded me of like if this room's gonna work good, you got to be able to see these motherfuckers for sure.
The not being able to see works in a room that's like there's like a stage, there's some elevation, it's more like theatery, you know?
Correct,
like
right.
This is like there to actually like just say if they don't want to interact. Like there's one room in the city where you can legitimately only see like the first 2 people. It's like what you were saying.
Yeah.
But it kind of forces you to just only do material.
Yeah.
Not that I would be doing crowd work at a mic anyway, but like I would. You know, you can't see anything. So it's just like, I'm just gonna say.
It fucks me up as a host. It fucks me up as a host. That's what I have trouble getting the host vibe going correctly. I end up falling back to jokes because I'm up there starting the show and I'm not getting any reads. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do some bits, but it's just like because I can't see them. So I realize that is like as a host, it fucks up the host. To like get the vibe of the room right because you can't see what they're fucking up to, and the bartenders there are fucking slow. Sometimes there's only one. It's crowded. People are getting frustrated. So if I can't comment on any of the shit that's going on because I can't see it, like it fucks it up a little bit. But you know, comedy's gay sometimes. What about you, Patrick? Patrick, what'd you do this weekend? Anything fun?
What was this weekend? I went to a show in Boston on Friday.
Yeah.
And then That's it. There was like a free beer thing. It was like a Guinness. Get a free Guinness. I don't know. I don't know what it was for. I think a guy just wanted
People to
to
come.
get people to drink Guinness.
Interesting. Where was it in Boston?
The Comedy Studio.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, so it was cool so they give you the free Guinness, and it's it's famous foamy top, and then
Gotta love the foamy
you walk
top.
over to the guy, and he has this little like fancy foam printer thing, and so then he's like, choose a photo or select one of your own, and like the photos he's letting me choose are all like logos and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I clearly have to choose like a logo or something in my phone. And he's like, no, it can be your face. And I was like, no way. So I chose like a whole ass selfie and it printed it right on the foam.
Really?
Yeah.
I
it
saw
was
that
so
post.
sick.
It was awesome.
Yeah, on my
Wait,
story.
wait,
Yeah.
hold on. There's like a phone. Like, it prints off the
Yeah,
phone.
it's only $1,000, the machine. But it's so cool. And it does like latte foam too. So I'll show you the
can get it
photo.
for your
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, show me the photo now. We'll throw it up on the screen for the viewers.
Okay.
I want to see it.
I'm slow as fuck. But yeah, so I did that. And then like what I was upset about was, and I guess the foam kind of made up for it, but they were like, oh, we're going to have merch. And I'm a sucker for merch, like, for random shit or whatever.
You are?
Yeah, I love random shit merch. So like,
that makes this foam printer has the merch.
no, it was Guinness merch.
Oh, God.
It was just all Guinness shit, but he also had the printer. I don't know if he was like,
okay.
I don't know if he was a Guinness rep or a printer rep.
Oh, man.
I could hear you the whole time, but now it's like Christmas.
I'll just be. Sorry for being quiet for the last.
But yeah, so some of the foam got messed up, but this is it. That's still pretty sick. I mean, it got the words on my fucking shirt
Whoa.
and stuff.
Dude, it looks like a petri dish. You look like you're fucking gonna like grow
I
fucking
grew it.
mycelium on you.
That's actually my birth photo. Yeah, that's where I came from. But yeah,
Growing
and
like a mushroom.
it was sick. It didn't go away the whole time. Like it stayed as I was drinking, and so it was like it just kind of stretched. It was weird.
no shit.
And then I ate it at the end.
Oh, you could eat it?
Well, it's foam, so I guess. Do you drink
Oh,
foam?
so it printed on the Guinness.
On the foam.
That's the top of the
That
Guinness.
is the foam. Yeah, it's straight up just like.
stay?
Whoa,
I
that's
have
kinda-
no idea.
That's weird.
Science.
Yeah,
What
that's why
kind
it's
it's $1,000 machine?
Yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ.
I know. He didn't.
I should get one in here, dude. And
But
fucking,
so the merch.
how cool would it be to do like give a girl like, hey, you want a beer? And then dick pick her on the top Hang on with your phone.
That'd be good.
We're
Yeah.
just finding new ways to sexually assault women.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the future, man.
Excellent.
No one's ever gonna stop sexually assaulting women, Brittany. Like, unfortunately, I wish they would.
If you got it on top of a Guinness, how would you react? If his actual
Yeah, come on now, right?
I
Like,
would throw their dick literally right back in their face.
well, it's not his real dick.
It's not
His
a-
dick is still in his
But
pants.
it's a metaphorical dick, and I can throw a real drink in someone's
you throw it at their
dick
dick?
right at their face.
On the
Like, that's-
other side,
the winner.
What would be the most like romantic thing someone could put on Guinness foam?
good question.
Like, let's say you're on a date with a guy. He gives you a Guinness. You're like, hey, I want a Guinness, and he does like the little foam thing. What's like the image you see on top of the foam where you're like, oh, I'm gonna bang this guy?
It's going to be a picture of entry tickets to Disney World. That's the most romantic thing for me.
When's the last time you've been to Disney World?
I was 17.
17.
Actually, no, that's not true. I was 20. I was 20 the last time I was
20
in
years
Disney World.
old.
Yeah.
Who'd you go with?
I went with my family because my mom was like, we're going to this wedding down here. Just come with us. You can definitely come to the wedding.
a Disney wedding.
Yeah, well, we happened to be in
Interesting.
Disney with like relatives, and we were near Disney, and like the wedding was near Disney, so we were like, we're just gonna make a trip out of it. But I wasn't old enough to drink, so I went out with my parents and like hid in the corner of the bar while my stepdad kept buying me vodka cranberries. And my drunk ass in the car, like on the way home, when my mom was like, "I want fast food," because she was just fucking done. We're at Taco Bell, and he's like, "Listen, I know you know everything on the menu," and I was like, "I don't."
Bullshit.
And then my mom goes,
I call
This
bullshit.
menu's so long. I don't know what I want. I'm like, no, Mom, let me order for you. I was like, I would like 1 chicken quesadilla, 1 cheesy potato burrito. Like, I ordered a bunch of stuff. I've never seen my mother so happy. My stepdad's like,
Really?
you don't have the whole menu memorized. And I was like, well, no, they have new stuff now.
What's your go-to at Taco Bell currently?
Cheesy potato soft taco.
Classic.
I think there's like a chicken and bean burrito or something, and then the large nacho fry.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
That nacho fry season.
Those nacho
it's crack.
They're the most underrated fast food fry, I think.
really good.
They're fun. You get the cheese to dip them in.
You get them like extra hot when they like just came out, and they're like so good.
Talk
Weirdly
about
enough, potatoes are the only thing I still trust from fast food.
I mean,
I've YouTubed myself out of like any meat from any fast food.
that's fair.
Like,
That's
I've just gone
good.
down too many rabbit holes that I don't trust anything.
And that's
but
why I don't want
potatoes
YouTube.
still pretty okay everywhere you go.
Yeah, I mean that's what I listened to like a fitness guy talk about it. He's like, if you're into fitness and health and stuff, and you need to like you're in a pinch and you're at a bar, and you need to get food. French fries. Just go with the French fries. It's probably your best. It's probably your best bet as far as like additives and additives and things like that.
The worst thing you're really getting is like oil.
Are you a healthy? Are you a healthy eater guy?
Not really. I still eat like shit at home, but I've like kind of weaned out like the late night stops to like Wendy's and McDonald's, and also like on the road. Like if I ever drove up to like Boston or Maine or anything like that for a show, I got into the habit of like stopping by like a Burger King.
And then you start looking forward to that shit.
Yeah, and then I've like replaced that with like I'll get like a protein bar from a gas station instead, which is not.
It's not great,
better, but it's still.
but it
like,
feels better, dude. It's so hard to make those decisions, dude. Like especially like luckily for you, like you don't drink anymore.
Yeah,
But like I mean, like
I think I probably stopped by more of those
yeah.
fast food places when I was drinking.
I just to be able to make that call at fucking 1 a.m. like I should eat something healthy, but you have like 3 or 4 beers in you or more, and you're like, you can't make that call. Like you're gonna go for the greasiest, slimiest shit you can fucking get your hands on.
Yeah, I don't even.
Baconator.
Yeah. What even other besides fries? I mean, there's nothing at 3 a.m. You wouldn't even.
I mean, you could get a salad from McDonald's. I mean, they do
The
salads.
3 a.m. McDonald's salad sounds
No, but the 3
a lot
a.m.
more
that
sad than
I
some
was gonna
fries.
say that might be as unhealthy as a Big Mac by that.
The
point.
salad?
just by
Go to a
the amount
Cumberland.
of time.
I mean, it's just like, if
yeah.
you are at that point going out to get food, you're really going to just get yourself a salad at McDonald's. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, if you're already going to be eating at a time when you should be asleep, it doesn't matter anymore.
That's true.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I don't know. It's tough.
I'll get more candy late at night because it'll kind of keep me awake. It'll fill me up, but then like it's such a small like portion where it's like if I eat a Big Mac, I'll be like, oh, I can't move.
Oh, I know, bro.
You know
That's
what I mean. But if I eat like a Snickers bar, it's like all right, I might be like a little bit like kind of lethargic, but I can bounce back a little bit quicker.
I have bad eating habits, dude. Like I feel like I'm so used to scourging my face at night and then falling asleep. Like if I eat a big meal in the middle of the day, my body's like, oh, it must be time to go to bed now.
Yeah.
like, I can't. Like
This is what we do.
like I can't eat during. Like I had a Subway. All I had is a Subway sandwich today, and after I ate that Subway sandwich, I was like collapsed on the couch. I was like, it's done.
Like a whole 12, like a whole foot long.
Oh, full on, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
I've never ordered less than a foot long at Subway. I mean,
What was the meat?
I do the Italian BMT with spinach, green peppers, onions, olives, banana peppers, vinegar, salt and pepper shaker, and honey mustard.
I feel like that's actually a relatively.
That's my go-to.
healthy-
That's my go-to
that's
Subway
not that
sandwich.
bad for you, yeah.
But then I also do the chicken and cheese little like roller that they do,
Yeah.
and just
Those
dump.
are pretty good.
They're amazing, but it's just like
What,
it's
has,
just
like,
bread.
like rollers now.
I think the bread is like the worst.
They do
part there.
it. They do a flatbread. Well, that's the thing about Subway, right? Like, I mean, their bread. It rises to. There's something suspect about Subway bread.
No,
like,
yeah.
like bread doesn't rise like that. Like it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
It's just like instantly turns into bread. Like
Like the
there's
Spy Kids microwave, just like
yeah, it's something. There's something going on with the bread there, but
They had a thing
It's
with
good.
the chicken like 5 or 6 years ago where it was, I think like a third of it was like soy protein, like it wasn't real chicken.
I thought that the thing was that all of their meat was turkey based.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
That was the rumor I heard.
turkey-based pepperoni.
But I also don't think the tuna
That's
doesn't
wild.
seem turkey based, and I always get the tuna at Subway. So
turkey-based. I like a turkey based. That's what I call it when I put my dick inside of an uncooked turkey and I stay there for a while.
I think that's how you lose.
call it a
But,
turkey based. No, that's disgusting.
Any like nurses that are watching this, please comment on how that would end if he actually did that.
I think it'd be fine. I can't.
Pretty big.
I've been with girls way dirtier than a clean turkey.
Is E. coli like not a thing you're worried about?
Well, I think he was
No.
gonna cook the turkey first, right? Is
me?
it cooked
I thought
turkey?
he said raw.
raw turkey. Oh, that's
raw
no,
turkey.
that's unsafe.
Should I
Yeah,
not?
that's
Should,
what I'm
definitely
saying.
don't.
No, I
You
should-
You have to
shouldn't.
cook it first.
Really?
For
Yeah,
it
just
to
wear a
be
condom.
safer.
oh, yeah, exactly, dude. Save
they're
that
for.
first. Yeah.
The fuck turkeys.
You can't bang uncooked foods.
This is why I deleted all of my online dating profiles.
Because they're fucking turkeys.
Because this is the kind of conversation.
Is that like the
to
third
listen to.
question? Is it okay if I fuck a turkey when I'm thinking of you? Like,
Well, I almost before I took them all down, I almost took all of the stand-up comedy photos down because I would have people spending money to make impressions on Tinder where their first message before they even match with me would be, "When did you find out you weren't funny?" And then they would swipe right, and I would be like, what are we doing here? What's your goal? Are you gonna neg me into nakedness? Like, I don't.
You
know.
gotta get off. You gotta get off those
I'm off.
dating
I
apps.
deleted. I
They're off.
deleted the
Get
profiles.
off
Like, I'd
them.
have to remake them now.
Yeah.
Just to,
Women
like,
really can't escape the whole like women aren't funny
It's
thing,
not
even on
worth it.
dating apps.
No.
No.
Even when guys are trying to bang you, they're
Yeah.
still like women aren't funny.
They're
That's
like
insane.
they're like trying to neg you into it, and it's like, please stop.
Women
I've
are
Lie to
funny
me.
for
Tell me
sure.
I'm funny. I don't care if you think it or not.
I mean, if I was
mean, I
trying to
do-
have
I
sex with
do
you, I would
care.
tell you you're funny.
But, like,
that seems like fucking
least-
what you would do.
Can men
Right,
at least
yeah.
lie the way they used to, make it seem like they like you first?
yeah,
Like,
and
I don't know.
poetry.
Yeah, you gotta be like, you gotta be positive.
Like,
You know?
Plus, I mean, you're a comedian. You don't even worry about having a relationship. It's not even.
That's
It's-
true.
That's the
We're-
most,
It
like,
is-
we're in
depressing
general not
thing.
good at it.
No, it
you're
is.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
It
but
is
it's
true, man.
depressing.
I'm in a relationship, and like, thank God she's like a bartender and works weekends, because like, there's like, I don't have time. Like, I like to see you when I can see you, but like, to find somebody that's understandable, like, you need to find somebody else that's very busy and can't really see you a lot.
And
'Cause
it's like same. You luck out with the same schedule because it's on the weekends and stuff. So when you're
Right.
working, she's working.
Yeah.
But like I was in a relationship with a girl who worked a 9 to 5 for 2 years, and it failed for other reasons, but that was a huge part of it.
The schedule
Because,
just doesn't
like,
work.
And I'm still working a day job too, so I would be gone all day, and then I'd get booked at night. So it's like I have like a 2-hour window.
Yeah,
in the
right.
day where we can hang out. We were living together, so like
You get to see each
I
other.
almost like forgave it because of that. It's like, all right, well, I'm still going home to her. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But it's easy to get kind of complacent with that. I've like almost come to the conclusion that like I used to be anti-dating comics, but then I'm like, oh, a comic might be the only one that can handle.
Who actually understands.
Yes,
the, like,
yes.
And like they're gonna be out on weekends too, you know, like
they're also
It's
going
a
to be
good
like,
point.
sorry,
And
I
it's-
can't hang Friday. I have a show.
Well,
Like,
it's hard, dude. It's hard to like explain, like, especially if your partner has gone to like an open mic, and like, let's say they want to do something on a weeknight, and you're like, no, I got to go to this open mic, and it's like you're not hanging out with them to go to like a room with 3 people to tell jokes on stage. Like, it's like it seems super disrespectful. Like, but also, I think I told every girl that I got with like since doing comedy, it's like I'm married to it.
yeah.
Like, I already have a relationship with comedy. Like, it's gonna fucking.
I rescheduled a day recently because I had to write roast jokes, and I like legitimately weighed the options like against each other of like, oh, I could just get home late from the date and like just write a bunch of shit afterwards. But the roast was like the next day. I got booked on it last minute because that's how it always goes.
Yeah.
And then I really was like, I want to make both work, but I don't think I'm actually going to be able to write all 9 of these well if I spend 3 hours on this Bumble date. And I don't even mean to diminish like her like that, but that's what it was, and it was just like I just have to choose this.
No, it's true,
Did you
man.
win? Did you win the roast?
I did actually.
Nice.
Yeah. I did. It was against Ryan Peterson. Fucking loser.
Fuck you, Ryan Peterson.
Fucking, I know you're watching this.
I love you, Ryan.
I do love you. I do love you, Ryan. You
Sad in
fucking,
your Bushwick apartment.
you fucking
Wow.
emo flamingo. Looks like an emo flamingo.
We had a very good battle. Actually, so I beat him, and then another Indian comic won the battle after us. And those were like the only 2 battles of the night. So me and this Indian comic just like kicked 2 white people's asses. It was amazing.
Nice.
It was a great
Making
day for
fucking
people.
making good things for
yeah.
Indian people.
And then we had to roast each other like 2 weeks later. So
That's dope,
that was,
man. Fucking Indian people are cool. They're very. I always think of Indian people as studious among like.
they definitely can be.
like
not
very-
in this room, but
not in this
They
room.
can be.
What do your parents do?
My parents are very studious.
They're studious.
My dad is.
You a
my dad's
disappointment
retired
to your
now,
family?
but- No, they're actually pretty cool with
What a
everything.
question.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah. Well, it's a thing in Indian.
Are you a disappointment to your family?
Well, it's like
I feel like a lot. I feel like a lot of Indians that do comedy are probably like not.
They all talk about it.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have been like, "How's your relationship with your parents?" And
Usually they become a doctor first, and then they start comedy.
That's true.
Oh,
There's
right.
a lot of
that is true.
you know, there's like hobbyists. They start in like their 50s and they kind of do comedy once every like few weeks. There's some Indian doctors in that group, I would say.
That's
Well, my parents
interesting.
I was a theater kid growing up, and I studied like music in college.
Oh, dope.
So my parents like had accepted that I was like an artsy whatever.
Yeah.
From-
Like, all right, my son's a
age.
faggot. We'll fucking deal with it.
Honestly, they were very economic about it. They were like, as long as you can make money doing whatever, and you're not like, you know, hitting us up all the time to like borrow money if you
That's
like,
fine,
do shit
right?
like that, then and I've been able to do that. You know, like I think if they saw what I was living on right now, they'd be like, you need to get your shit together. A little bit.
yeah.
But
But it
like, you know, I'm
feels
still
good.
I'm afloat. You know,
It
I'm not like
feels
struggling.
good
and,
when
like-
you make money doing comedy.
Exactly.
Like, it
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
cool. Like I did a show the other and I'm sure you do well with the roast battle stuff. But it's like it's awesome when you're like, oh, this is actually money that impacts my monthly income. Like if you do a
Exactly,
good
yeah,
show
yeah.
that actually like this is groceries. This is
a
gas.
bill or
This is
something,
like
yeah.
this
Yeah.
is good
If
shit,
you-
man.
I think if you highlight those moments to the people outside of comedy, they understand it more. As like,
Right.
this is a job.
Right.
You know,
Like I'm
it's
doing
not-
something
It's not my only job.
like I'm
but
doing
it is,
something I
yeah.
love, and I just paid a bunch of bills because of the show that I did
Right,
last
yeah.
weekend. Like it's pretty sweet.
That's why I hate it when comics only talk about the bad open mics and like only ever make jokes about that. Like we all do cool shit nonstop.
I mean,
we should just talk about that and not like address the open. Like we all know those are bad. You know, what I
Right?
mean?
They're not going to get better. There's no way. It's
Yeah,
just,
they're not supposed to be.
yeah.
But
They're
it feels
supposed to be
great.
bad. That's
Right.
how you.
But
we
it
all
does
get
feel
there.
great
Right.
at an open mic when you do like 5 minutes and it's awesome. Because like those people are
Yeah, yeah.
basically like they're. I mean, unlike except for like Elbow Room, where people have to deliberately go down to the basement. Like most open mics, people are just like regulars who are trapped at the bar, and all these comics happen to be there.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like that's the best part about
I like
that
it. It's
place.
an extra challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, open mics suck. Patrick, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch topics here. How long you been doing comedy?
I started like 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Shit.
Now, how old are
Closer
you?
than I thought. I thought you had been doing it for a while before me.
You're about 8 years too?
I'm 7, but
I just hit my 7.
Pat was one of the first people I met, and I had assumed. I mean, I think I had assumed everybody who was like, "Oh man, these guys have all been doing it fucking decades or whatever." It's
yeah, you see like
so
one
many
person
people
that figured out like a joke and you're like, oh my God. How did
I'm
he
never
do
gonna be
that?
able to
Locked
do
in.
this. I should just quit now.
That
But yeah, I didn't have any kind of perception of whatever. But Pat was one of the first people I met.
That's dope. Yeah, I was just in I was like I said, I was in Mass the other night, and someone said from their scene over there that Patrick was one of their favorite comedians from Connecticut, dude.
So sweet.
It is very sweet.
Do you like using the Connecticut label, even though you're not really there anymore? Because you're more central massish now, right?
I'm just under the Mass border. I'm still in Connecticut. I'm in Putnam-ish area.
I thought you like moved to Massachusetts.
No, I'm still
you were,
just
like, outside of
underneath.
Worcester.
We moved like a little closer, but we haven't like picked like a main location yet. We kind of want to move closer to Salem, but still in between, like close to
Salem.
Boston.
Salem, Mass.
Yeah.
Oh, Salem's dope. I had an aunt that grew up in that area. Yeah, you've moved around a bunch, huh?
I love moving around.
You love
Yeah,
moving around?
Yeah,
I do too. It's just like kind of what's interesting about this space because like I grew up I hate Meriden, Connecticut. I hate Connecticut. Like I grew up being like, this is the worst place in the world. I need to move out of Connecticut if I'm going to do anything. But like now that I'm like, I was kind of like forced to move back home. It's like doubling down that like, you don't necessarily need to move to like, what I realized is like, I was always like, everyone's like trying to like be better, right? Like you all got shit that you're like, oh, this is a problem, this is a problem. If I move there, it'll be fixed. And then like what I realized from moving around all the time is like wherever you move, you're there.
Yeah.
And like
Your problems are
I'm
gonna follow you there.
I'm the fucking problem, man. Like I'm the problem.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a fresh start and every now and again, as long as you know that your problems follow you.
Yeah, but I think it takes a little bit to figure out that your problem, because like it's very easy to put your problems on things that you're
Especially if
surrounded
they're
by.
like people related. Like if you
Exact-
hate like a bunch of people from
Exactly.
Meriden, then you're definitely going to be like, oh well, I don't want to.
Yeah, well, if I'm not around these
Yeah.
people, I'll be good. But then you realize, like, oh, the people might have not been the problem.
Yeah.
Like-
They might have sucked, but I still got shit to deal with.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, yeah.
No, I actually love people from Meriden. Like, I'm very excited to do this year, and I'm going to have some other. There's a bunch of other artists from the area that I'm going to have on eventually, because I'd like to use this as like to other artists, not just comedians, come on and talk about their shit. But did you always? What I wanted to ask you is like, did you always want to be a comedian, or like what what made the? Because I feel like there's like something that like makes like you think about doing it, and then there's like a thing that like, oh, I'm going to do it.
I mean, I've kind of like Ish. I've always kind of just been in like theater type stuff and center of attention sort of things. I think I've always been interested in like the writing part of it, or just writing in general. And then I think I was like in New York one time, and one of my friends who was like DJing out there was like, "Hey, there's an open mic up the road. Go do some of your stuff because I always carry like a notebook or whatever."
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, "Oh shit, this is super fun." And then I just started doing it all the time. And then I thought I could only do comedy in New York, so I did that for like 6 or 7 months until I met this guy who did stuff at Comics. And then after that, I realized, oh, there's stuff in Connecticut. Connecticut does comedy, and then
cool.
And then I became kind of complacent and only started doing stuff in Connecticut. I kind of wish I continued the trek to New York. It probably would have changed trajectories a little bit, but
right.
It's good to build up material in a small town scene.
No,
I agree.
It is
I
true.
think that's better for a lot of people.
I don't know. I'm kind of like on the border lately. I've been thinking about it. Like I'm on the border lately of whether or not you need to move to New York or Austin or LA or one of those cities to do it, because like everything's so online based now. Like if you have an online following, like they don't give a like all your shit online doesn't even need to be comedy related. Like, I mean, it needs to be funny. But like if you have a following, they're gonna buy tickets. Like there's so many people. Like I sold merch for this dude, Ginger Billy, and he had just like a YouTube channel that was like off the charts, and he's like selling out the fucking arena theater, or not the arena, but like a huge theater room, like 800, 1,000 people at the MGM. Like he was supposed to do Roar, the comedy club, but he sold more tickets than that, so they put him. They put him in one of the fucking arenas. And he was 4 years in, but he has such a die-hard online following of just his little videos that he
what are
makes.
his videos, you know?
This is like him being like a country dude, like doing country shit with like him and his wife, and just like tractors and being like just like random shit that has nothing to do with.
So they're not sketches; they're more like his life and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like it just literally like has a huge following from
So what does he do on stage? He just brings up tractors and shit?
No, I mean his stand up wasn't bad, but it was. I mean, like he did good. He got a great response, but he also had a room of 800 people that loved him. Like I was selling his merch. Like these people loved this guy. Like they were all about him. And he's on stage, and he said it on the beginning of his set. Like he's been doing comedy for 4 years.
Yeah.
And he's selling fucking 800
How long has
tickets.
he been doing YouTube?
I think like 10 or 12 or 15. Yeah, so he's been doing that.
Yeah.
So I think that's like what's like some of these people come across that are doing funny stuff. That you do funny stuff online, and then you realize you have a following, and you're not making money on YouTube. But if you have 100,000 fucking subscribers on YouTube, you throw a comedy show, any city, you're probably gonna have a few people that know you that are gonna buy tickets.
Me out, honestly, just because
It's a little bit bumming.
Yeah, like I'm such a stand-up purist. Like I don't engage with any other performance art or any like I don't do sketches. I haven't done like any like I don't even combine music with it, and like that's like was my day job for a while, and like it almost makes me feel like I'm never gonna get like the giant
Yeah.
Unless it's only on stand-up. Unless I start like posting like
More clips of you.
yeah, but then it's like every time I get to posting a clip, I look at it like right before I post it, and I'm just like, I don't like how I did that face right there. Like,
yeah,
my delivery is fucked up, and then I don't ever post it.
I'm the same, dude. I'm the same way. It's like I didn't really want to do anything else online either. That's why I started this, because I was like, I need something to put online.
Yeah.
And like sitting down with my comedy buds to fucking talk is the easiest thing I can do. That's just like, it's all I want to do is stand up. You know what I mean? And like to go back to the Ginger Billy thing, like if he went to like an open mic and did his shit, like be okay. Like it's not like, but it's like when you're if you figure out how to write a joke and you tell that joke to 800 people that already love you, you're gonna get a great.
You already have the confidence
response
behind it. If
you have the confidence
brought
behind
that
it.
confidence to an open mic, people would be like, "You're
And then
fucking
he's
stupid."
yeah.
Calm
It's
down.
also, I wonder how sustainable that really is, too, because he's only ever going to be doing the big theaters with rooms, but he's never going to like. I don't want to shit on this guy. I don't know if he's going to watch this, but or anything.
Probably not. I hope you do though. Fucking.
Well, I mean, you sold merch, so I'm going to be known. But, like,
No, I don't. I didn't even.
I do not mean to offend you, Ginger Billy, Mr. Billy, but
Mr. Billy. Yeah.
but I don't like. I don't know how realistic it would be to see him out like the Cellar, like New York Comedy Club.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's like.
Where you have to be like a bulletproof.
Yeah,
stand-up.
but I also don't think he gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I think he's one of those guys that he's like.
doesn't need it.
He doesn't. He's not. He didn't start doing like he obviously was doing something before comedy, and then he realized comedy was a great way to fucking sell tickets and make money.
Right.
So he did comedy, but like I feel like I'm like I want to be known for. I want people to find me for comedy. Like I want like those are the fans that I want.
Even if he showed up to a place like the Stand or something, those people probably wouldn't even know who he is.
Right, exactly.
I want the opposite. I want to show up and be like, "Oh, it's fucking Patrick. Come on in, bro."
Right. I want the people. I want the comedy nerds that I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like I want the comedy nerds to know me before the public knows me. The public knew him before the comedy nerds don't even know who he is. And I like that's where I want to be respected by. Because like that's a huge thing with comedy. It's like it's just like that respect that you get. Like when I went to that mic in Mass the other day, it was like nobody there knew me, but I went up and I did well, and then I could see after I got off, like there was comics that have been doing it for a long time, that I got their respect, and like half the time you just want the respect of other comics. Like I put in the like a fist bump to know, just like I am working hard to be good at this thing, and like that means more sometimes than like. You know, a big following of people from doing like helicopter videos online or something.
Right.
It kind of rules. This is a little petty, maybe, but it also kind of rules if you show up to a mic and you don't know anybody and they're all being standoffish towards you because they have their own cliques and stuff. And they think you're like a new guy, and then you go up and murder, and then they're like, "Oh, we have to be nice to him now."
Suddenly,
that's what I'm saying. It's kind of
sitting next to you and stuff.
Yeah, it feels kind of good. And it's not petty. It is petty, but like I thrive off some petty shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it makes sense. This is my favorite feeling
You're just
ever.
representing. You're not. You know.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's a really good
Y'all
feeling.
shouldn't
I
have
took
doubted
like
me.
a few months off comedy once, met like a bunch of like new people who were like, "Oh yeah, like when did you start?" And I was like, a while ago. Just like
Yeah, usually it's the opposite. You're the first person that said you thought I'd been doing it longer. Most people think I haven't been doing it that long. But I think it's just because I bop into so many scenes that it only seems like...
You also permanently look like you're 25.
Yeah, someone told me that the
So,
other day, too. Yeah.
like
You
you
look
like you look like when you're like I started 8 years ago. You started when you were like 16.
Yeah, it's because I dressed in like this weird 90, like I'm a child.
I also dress like a child. It helps me look younger as well. Yeah. It's
I
the
think
key.
I associated you with like a crew of people.
Oh,
It
word.
was like you, Giancarlo, Joe Reddington.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Fucking Manning had already left.
Catherine,
By the time we
probably.
started. Catherine, Derek, yeah.
Interesting. All
Oh,
right.
Andrew already left by the time you started?
Andrew
Wow.
was not in Connecticut when it started. I think
That's
he's maybe
crazy.
been out for like a year.
I'm gonna do one
He
quick.
didn't die. He moved to New York.
I'm gonna do one quick question before we take our break. I'm gonna ask if you were any car, what car would you be?
Oh, man. Probably that that Bumblebee car from Transformers, the one that just communicates through radio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be that one.
No,
Like
that's
that.
a good
All the other
choice.
robots get to talk, but he doesn't.
I like
He
that
doesn't-
he has to like kind of be like
He has to be creative to get his
all
point.
knowing about the radio. Like
He's got to
just
have like a
always-
database of
Right.
songs that he
Yeah.
like draws from for his reactions.
like he has like a feed board or something.
You do look like you still listen to the radio. You look like you have your own fucking wave radio at home.
I'm trying.
Really?
I'm actually trying to
This is
talk
Kevin getting ready
to.
for the
I work at a
roast.
diner. I know this is extending your break time. I work at a diner, and the local morning radio guy comes in every morning, and I had him on. Ish was there. He opened for a local. We had a show at the diner, and he opened. But I've been trying to get on his show in the morning, like as a co-host, and I'm like, hey, do you need like a guy to call with like a funny voice? Like I'll make up stories, you know. I'll make up stuff about my ex or something. Like, give me some time, you know. Like, so I don't care if it's 4 a.m. So that's like a goal right now. Small time radio.
I like small time radio goals, dude. I respect that. That's a good choice. That's a good answer. Fucking Brittany, if you were any car, what would you be?
The Jetsons car.
Oh yeah.
It flies. It goes really fast, and I'm always running late. So like I could just go above the highways, like no traffic ever.
Respect it.
No one would even
respect
know
it.
it's there. Like they'd be like, "Brittany, do you have a car?" And I would be like, "No, I just fly down from space."
I like that.
Damn, that's a good one. Yeah.
I know these guys got better answers than I was expecting. Like just an actual car. To be honest.
You didn't specify that it had to be a real.
No,
car
I
in
like no.
reality,
These answers
so-
are more than
Makes
than
it abstract.
acceptable.
It's good. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah,
They're more than meets the eye. All right, I don't have to talk anymore. Now.
Fucking. What about you, Ish? Fucking
Well, so if it was a real answer, I was just gonna pick a Toyota Corolla
be a Toyota Corolla.
because I did drive a Toyota Corolla for I think 8 years.
They're very reliable.
It was it was a great car. It was great. The only reason I had to give it up is because I got into an accident. It wasn't the car's fault. It was mine. So, but if I had to pick a fictional car, I'm gonna go the DeLorean.
Oh,
Solid.
Yeah,
Do you have
that's
time
solid.
traveling dreams?
I'm interested in it, but that one can also fly if you go to if it's from the second one. So then I get the flying,
Right.
thing.
And the time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
all right,
it's
so
pretty decent.
That's kind of a
fast car
one-up
from
of
what
an
I know,
answer.
yeah.
let's say you have a DeLorean, time traveling. Fucking, you got your what's it called? What's the thing called?
Flux
The
capacitor.
flux capacitor. You got your flux capacitor rolled up, ready to go. What's the first thing? What's the first mission you're making?
Is it gonna fuck up the future and stuff?
It might. I mean, you just got to go with your heart.
The
Well,
butterfly effect.
Yeah, so that's the shitty because I would go back and do a bunch of like kill Hitler or whatever.
Oh, you do
I'd
that?
probably stop the British. Honestly, I'd probably go to India and just
Yeah, like that's my salt,
just
motherfucker.
kill the first 3 British guys that showed up. Just
Yeah.
make sure just say don't send any more boys here. Like,
Yeah,
fucking
start a
leave us alone.
salt, start
Yeah.
a salt business of
We
your
get-
own, dude.
Get our freedom like a couple hundred years early. That'd be cool.
That would be sweet. You know what's fucked up about fucking India and salt is like Morton salt. I did obviously the British went down to fucking India and taking all the salt and being all that like bullshit, and like some shit happened. They're like, hey, you can't enslave us to like give you salt anymore. And so then they like moved to like the Bahamas, the British, and like they're basically still doing like you can't really trace like Morton salts. Yeah, so like Morton salt is still enslaving people in the Bahamas to
like,
get salt.
it's
like
like,
it's
like
essentially.
diamonds. Like you can't really trace the root of or like the source of a diamond.
Right, it's
And
just
a lot
like
of
it's
them
the
are
fucked
from
up
war.
it's the
Yeah.
fucked up thing, but they just like changed their name and moved to a different place, so like
a
nobody.
Temu t-shirt.
It's like a Temu t-shirt.
I think
yeah.
I think chocolate might be like that too.
Chocolate is like that.
No way,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
There's like a lot of chocolate.
I thought that
like
was just-
war zones or some shit. Yeah.
There's just not straight up
Man, I love chocolate so
cocoa
much.
plant.
No, like there's like they're one of the least paid like workers in the world is like salt farmers. Or I mean chocolate farmers.
I
Yeah.
feel, I feel
that's
guilty every
crazy.
time I like every month when I'm just spending a week eating Rolos.
Oh, rolls
Well,
are
it's,
good though.
by the-
I'd say.
Salad.
Here's and sorry if this is going to extend the break more.
That's all right.
By the time it gets to us, there's not much that we could have done. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, it's the whole thing with like voting. Like I don't do that.
It's already been,
it's already been done.
sitting in
The mass
But
numbers.
we live in Connecticut too, so it's like, all right, well, that's
Yeah, well,
that
conscientious
decision is gonna be
consumption
made,
under
yeah.
capitalism is kind of difficult,
It is. Yeah, no, for sure.
especially when BlackRock owns everything.
We all have smartphones.
What the fuck is
so we
Black
all-
Fart?
Black
Black
Rock.
Black Rock.
Black Rock.
Why did I think Black Fart?
I suggest googling it. BlackRock is like an umbrella corporation that owns like
Private
almost
equity,
everything.
right?
no
Don't
shit.
Google Black
Don't-
Fart.
Don't Google, yeah, I would Google Black
I
Rock.
kind of want to Google Black Fart. You might be interested in what you find.
We can come back from the break and tell everyone what.
Yeah, we'll see what
Black
comes
Rock
in.
is.
Diagram.
If I could be any car, I'll end with this, and we'll take a quick break because I gotta pee. Fucking, if I could be any car, I would be a Honda Civic missing a bumper and a cracked windshield. Because that's
my car.
That's literally who I am. I'm
I
just
have a Honda Civic with a cracked bumper.
pedal to the metal.
Kevin,
I'll fix it when I have the
you
money.
gotta have bigger dreams than that for yourself.
Dude,
Any
I do
car
have
you
big dreams.
could be, and you're like, I'm just gonna be exactly who I am.
No,
right
if
now,
I
not
was, but
who
I'm
I
saying-
would want to be.
No, I'm not trying to be who I want to be. If I was a car right now,
Oh,
it would be a Honda. Just fucking getting all the miles he can out of what he's got with a cracked windshield and a missing bumper. That's who I am.
we should trade cars.
Front or back bumper?
Front. Yeah, because that Wendy's parking lot came up.
I was gonna say, that's the one I said, when you-
Right,
How's
fucking
the dating life?
my dating life. I am in a relationship, the longest relationship.
Oh, that's right. I saw
Oh, yeah,
that.
man.
I did
Yeah.
see that when you
Yeah,
sent me some info. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm dating.
Oh, you
Bar-
guys did exchange roast info already.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, no, we're on. Have you written? Have you done any writing yet? I've got a few things. I got
I wrote one joke. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's Kevin Doty. Kevin Doty sounds like a Long Island iced tea made out of kerosene and bong water. That's about it. That's as far as I got. But
I got one that I think I have two. I got one that like Patrick's voice sounds like it's been drying pussy up since he's been an adolescent. And the first time he touched a wet pussy, he was like icky. And what was another one I had? It's like what am I working on? It's like, hey Arnold, if you lost your cheeks.
that's a good visual.
That's excellent.
But yeah, no, that's why I thought this would be fun to fucking sit down and fucking talk a little bit before the roast and just be comfortable. It'd be cool to like. That's why I wanted to have you on too, because like I do think it is a really cool thing to like have the roast league thing happening here in Connecticut. Like I'm stoked on it. I think it's really cool. I'm very proud of you for fucking getting us in there. It's super sweet.
Well,
And
it was
I'm
all
happy
the other comics. I actually I did the least amount of comedy to get us here.
to get us.
yeah,
Yeah, but you did the work.
One
You did
battle,
all the
I
back
didn't do
end
any
stuff.
stand up.
Yeah. And it's
I
the
just
back
made-
end shit, dude. It's the
I just
back
make
end
group
shit.
chats
Yeah.
with 22 comedians. I wouldn't recommend that.
It's-
that's about-
Oh my
Those
god!
groups
Yeah, yeah. They just turn into like.
Yeah.
There's been so many group chats that like I'm like, what is? I don't even know why I'm in this group
Number
chat.
one-
like, what are we talking about?
The number one rule of group chats is that you immediately mute them.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
Immediately.
not. So I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but I know that the female comedians have like it's got a fun name. What's the name of it?
oh, we should talk about this a lot.
I was gonna say that would be the girls, gays, and theys chat.
Yes, that's what it was.
Girls, gays, and
It had
theys.
a
It's
quirky
a
name.
bunch of-
I don't know
it's a
anything about it. I
bunch
just
of
know the name.
women,
And no,
non-binary people, and Bat Boy.
Okay.
I love Bat Boy. Bat Boy was supposed to be.
Bat Boy
Shout
is an
out to Bat Boy. Fuck you, Bat Boy, for skipping my podcast. But I love you still.
You were gonna do this again. I watched that last podcast. And you're like, fuck you, Bat Boy.
No, I love
you,
dude,
Bat Boy.
Dude, I love Bat Boy so much. He killed at Hungry Tiger on Monday.
What do you
Yeah.
guys do in this group chat?
Yeah, what do you guys do in this group chat?
So
do you need
you
it?
know, we bolster each other's confidence. We are
That's the-
supportive of each other,
that's the
and
problem.
also we also go off about problematic members of the community.
It's been a big problem recently.
It has been a big problem.
Yeah,
recently. The chat has been active. Like,
That's good shit.
I
No,
love.
thankfully, most of the stuff is now out of the group chat. So now I have dudes way outside of the group chat, like just DMing me, like what is like more tea about what's going on that we the women are not discussing. It's wonderful.
It did
Wow.
go very public recently because I remember. Yeah. It was like, oh,
Without getting into the details.
Oh, we don't
all
need to,
know
we
what
don't
we're
we don't
talking
we
about,
don't need to
but-
get into the details.
Yeah,
I don't because I'm very
we're
often
just
not
there
in
to
the loop.
protect each
But
other and exchange, usually horrendous stories about certain.
no, we were
men.
talking. Me and Brittany. We were talking about this. We were talking about this the other night. Fucking the amount of times that I have had to find out something about a comic that I liked and like enjoyed, and it's just like then you find out something about how he's been talking to like women, and then you're like, God damn it! Like why?
Yeah, that's why I
Like
just
why?
don't talk to
I thought you
anyone.
were a good guy. I didn't know you were fucking a weirdo. Like it's a very upsetting.
That's how you know. I don't talk to anyone, and then that way no one can be like, oh, he talked
That
to
is the
that
way to go.
person
Yeah.
weird. It's like, no, I didn't talk to that person at all, literally at all. So,
Yeah, right.
It's
That's
'cause
you're
we
not
all-
associated.
it's because we all hang and we're friends.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the thing. Is
like if we all did comedy and then went home and didn't have conversations and it was just like we were all coworkers, like this shit probably wouldn't happen. But we all
Yeah.
we all do mics and then we all hang out at a bar until 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. you know?
yeah, and you get like a different read off. So it's like and that's the thing about guys that it's fucked up. It's like you got like a homie. You know about your homie. Maybe you've known him for like a year or something.
You think you know about your homie?
But you think you know about your homie until you really don't know until you hear a woman's perspective of that guy, of how they are, because that's a whole different. Like every guy in a group of dudes when they're broing out is gonna be like, oh yeah, it's all fucking hyperbole. You know what I mean? And then you talk to a woman of how their reaction is to a certain guy, and you're like, oh man, dude, I didn't know you were a fucking idiot and an asshole. And it's just like I'm always shocked and disappointed when I hear a name and I'm like, God damn
And then
it.
it puts you in a weird situation where like,
Because like, yeah,
now I'm gonna put this guy at a distance, obviously. Like,
yeah.
now if I'm like hanging out with girls, I can't be like inviting him.
No, exactly. And especially in the professional side of things, like booking shows and stuff like that. Like you book a guy because you're like, I like your comedy. And I do try to keep that separate. Like, it's a weird, like, I like this guy for his comedy. I know him for his comedy. I think he's good for this show. But then you hear some other things, and then you're like, then after booking, then you get the feedback from the women, and you're like, oh well, but I didn't know,
Right.
and now you guys are giving me shit
Somehow
because
you're
I booked,
tied to it.
somehow now I'm supporting because I booked a guy, but like I didn't really know
Right.
the ins and outs of it, which is a very annoying part, I think, of the comedy part. I don't know. I'm torn between it because, like you said, we're all friends, we're hanging out, but it gets weird when it comes to how the person is outside of their comedy. They can kill on stage,
Yeah.
but if they're doing weird shit behind
It's
the
one thing
scenes, it's
to
like,
just be kind of an asshole and be funny and get booked, I think. And it's a whole other thing to be like a menace in a community and like have that be like more of an issue than how funny you are. Like it's like you could be really funny, but if you are a menace to like all the women in the community, like
yeah. No, for sure. I mean,
And that does get out and correct itself a good amount of the time, which I think is good.
Yeah.
I think it does over time, but it just sucks to be put into like when you like. I'm sure, Pat, like you're like I'm getting the vibe from you. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't like. I'm not even trying to play. I don't even care about this. Like, I don't want to be playing the clicky fucking this guy that guy talking shit behind people's backs. But like when you just do comedy and you work with people, you end up working with people that maybe you don't entirely know, and then you find out things about them, and it's like I didn't sign up for this weirdness.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
I just wanted to go to my show and do jokes. I didn't just because like I had a great conversation and he killed and I killed and we're doing another show next week. I didn't know he was doing that because I met him 2 months ago.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
like
definitely happened.
we don't see those people. You don't see that side of someone until you really, really fucking know them.
Especially when because I live so far out of all of the like main zones or whatever. Like I don't hear a lot of that inside stuff until it's way
That's past-
after the
right,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm just not in those circles very often.
Yeah, well, what sucks me into them is from booking shows. That's what sucks me because you book somebody and then you book him and then he's already on the show and then aftermath you get and I'm like, well, I'm a man of my word. I can't unbook this guy.
Right.
But now I'm in a position where now my judgment's getting judged on how I judge people from something I didn't even know I was judging.
Right.
And
I think,
it's like
and I think
crazy.
that's where there needs to be a balance of like giving people grace in those situations, because not everybody is always in on the details of what's going on
details of
behind the
it.
scenes.
Yeah,
Like I think individually, I think a lot of people need to like be able to just like have a conversation about it and not and like just kind of like, but also if the topic matter is stuff that's like high stress that like really like brings like your anxiety up, it is hard to talk about it. So it's like, I mean, like I know like we all know who I'm talking about, but like when I was originally bringing stuff up, like people didn't take me particularly seriously, and like it is what it is. But like unless there's a lot of people saying it, it just doesn't really get listened.
Well, that's the thing too.
like,
It's hard.
maybe that was just your experience, and then when you hear it's 9 other people.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard. It's hard to get the gauge on it because, like, I mean, we're all fucking performers. So like, you hear like one girl hate on a guy, you're like, okay, well, like obviously you're gonna feel a certain way, but like I don't know if that's the case. Like it's one side of the argument,
Right.
but then it's like it takes a little while to figure out, like, oh, this guy might be. But even then, it's like I don't know, dude. Like Michael Jackson fucking might have slept with kids, and his music still pumps. So I don't know. Art's a weird world.
Yeah.
The people we're talking about are as talented as Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not. But that's what I'm saying. They'll sneak through. The ones that are good enough will
More
sneak
talented.
through. Like if you could be talented enough to be a creep, and that's the weird thing about show business. Like if you're talented enough to get those constant laughs, like you could do anything with your dick, and people are gonna let you slide through. And that's weird.
To an extent.
Until you
To an extent.
until you do it to the wrong person and you get the wrong amount of attention, and then every other person you've done it to is like, all right, well, you know what? If we're like doing this now.
Yeah.
People forgive being an asshole, but not like doing something wrong like that.
At some point it's like intention. And I think intent does matter. And like
it's like serial behavior. Like if you hit up
Intent
one
matters.
woman and like
that right.
and then it like the weird thing you did to one woman didn't work, and then you try the weird thing on
Yeah.
like that's fucking weird. Like you should have known to not do that.
Intent matters in my opinion, but not more than impact. Like if you in your mind are like, well, it's like on an individual basis, like you're just in like harassing like multiple people in a row and just being like, I feel like that is like the impact of that, regardless of what your intentions are, like you're just not thinking, dude.
Right.
Well, like somebody like that is like also like they don't even know how to have correct. But that's the thing; that does come back to intentions. But sometimes it's harder to find those intentions from somebody.
I think a lot of people don't even know what their intentions are. I think there are certain kinds of people who are so manipulative that they are like in denial about what their intent. Like they will tell
100%.
themselves
They don't even
that they
know.
have pure intentions,
Yeah.
but their intentions are something totally slimy. Like
Some of the like worst people will describe themselves as like empaths or whatever.
Yeah, but they're all
Like
just
that because it's like this weird like loop of like telling themselves they actually care about someone, but then just constantly doing shit that
like giving themselves an excuse. No, that's like that. But that is why I enjoy comedy the most, because I feel like we are, at least like the comics that I vibe with the most and like talking to, especially like you guys that are here, is like I feel like you're always like, I'm getting the honest version of you.
yeah.
And so that's why I feel like comics are honest people.
I don't think comics pretend to be good people.
No, exactly. I feel like comics are very, very themselves. So I'm always shocked when I come across somebody that I read wrong. Because generally, I think I'm a good read of people, and
You
like
don't
I feel
think
like
anyone's hiding something.
right.
And it's also like we all wear our hearts on our sleeves and
We
bear
did.
our personal traumas on stage. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like
true.
when something comes out that we
don't
know
then
about someone that they didn't already.
it's kind of shocking because you're like, I thought I knew you.
That they definitely don't want other people to know, and you're like,
Right, yeah.
okay.
And there's shit that's happened in my life that I'm obviously not going to talk about on stage, but it wouldn't be shocking to anybody. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I thought that'd be funny, but nobody thought it was.
We
funny.
needed one sound effect.
I don't know. I just like sound effects. Sometimes I try to pan into them. Let's see. Like this is my favorite sound effect.
Okay.
That would have been a better. That would have been a better one. Sometimes I just try to bring them into the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just gotta switch it up.
I love a
sometimes.
good sound effect. Yeah.
I see that you have a NASA shirt on.
Yep, I love NASA.
You love NASA.
I'm from Florida.
Are you from Florida?
I'm
You
big
are.
NASA
You're from
fans.
Florida. You lived in Cal. You've been all over the place.
Yeah, I was
that-
born in Idaho.
Your parents hate you.
Yeah, they
from
do.
what I
My dad
regard.
blocked me on Instagram.
I know. Yeah, I think like the last thing Patrick said to his fucking dad was like, "It's not a phase, Dad."
I think we went to like a taco place together.
Really?
Was the last
So wait, let me dig in because I do have questions about this. So, you grew up in like foster parents?
No, I have regular. So I, well, so my mom had me, and then was like, "Fuck this kid." And
Yeah,
so then
yeah, I
my
get
dad
it.
was like, because they were both in the military.
Yeah,
So my mom basically had a baby to get out of the military.
that happens so.
And then my dad was like, "Well, I'm still in the military. What the fuck?" So he, gave. So then my mom's mom watched me for a while, and then finally he got out, and then we bounced around a little bit until.
So you grew up mostly with, but you had all right. So because that was the thing that confused me with the roast thing you sent me. So you were born original mom and dad.
Yeah,
They were together
supposedly.
in the start, supposedly,
Yeah,
allegedly,
yeah.
and then they separated. And then you were with your real mom or real dad with the step, like
My real mom's
real mom, stepdad. Like what did you
Your
like? What was the
grandma?
what was the most consistent, like parenting situation? Like the regular, like you say,
once. So that was only through my like 1 through 4. I think like once I was like 6, it was just my mom and my dad and my stepmom until I graduated. Like that was like a stable thing until.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
or like you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
your real mom you've never met. She was
No.
out of there
I've
immediately.
never met her. I think one time I talked to her on the phone, but I was like a kid, so I was like, I don't.
Oh, okay,
Who are you?
got you. So she sucks.
Yeah. Well, supposedly.
Supposedly she
could be
sucks.
great.
Allegedly she sucks.
Yeah.
She does suck a little bit.
Maybe.
We'll
Yeah.
agree on that. Fucking.
It was a dick move.
It was a dick move.
Yeah,
on
she
her
could have
part.
left a note.
Definitely.
She could have done
dick
something.
move,
Yeah,
I
she could have
think.
done something.
Might have been an
Yeah.
understatement.
So you
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
there, yeah.
And then, so why do you think? All right, I don't want to get. I'm sorry, but I'm just looking for like roast stuff. So why? Then your dad blocked you on social media.
Just recently. Well,
Just recently. Why?
maybe
What
in the
did you
last
do?
few months or years.
What did you do?
I don't know, man. I mean, like I went down to Florida, and I met his new girlfriend, and we had some like fish tacos at this place.
Nice. I love fish tacos.
And then he was
Normal.
talking about how he went to a comedy show in the South because he loves Southern comedians specifically, and he was asking me like, "Do you know this guy and that guy?" And I was like, "No, I do comedy in New England. I don't know any of
Do
these."
you think he blocked you off your comedy?
I don't know.
That'd be the
I
worst.
still haven't heard a reason for blocking someone. yet.
Right, I don't know. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much how it ended. I thought it was cool. And
It's just like I don't dig my son's comedy anymore, bro. Like,
Just comedy is too normal.
I just logged on one
that
day,
shit, dude.
and yeah, he blocked me. I don't know.
That
I bet.
wow.
I bet if you started doing comedy in a southern accent,
I think what happened was
get
is
the
that
unblock.
all of
Oh, could you tell me? I bet you could do a joke in a southern accent right now.
Oh, I love
Is it like a
love a
political
southern
thing?
accent.
Yeah, let's do. Look, can we all talk in a southern accent? Can we
No,
switch to southern real
I'm
quick?
not, I will. I know.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby girl. Just fucking talk in a little bit of the southern accent.
Kevin. That's
I'm not. I don't
that's
mean.
so bad.
I don't mean.
That's so bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not.
It's all right. Look, I listen here. Like Jarvis is my gnome. Jarvis is my gnome. He'll make sure you feel fine and fancy as long as you talk in a
You know,
southern
that's a nasty
accent.
looking gnome.
See, I
ain't
think
gonna
this is
lie.
interesting because I don't think southern people have gnomes, so I've never heard gnome in a southern accent.
I'm one of them different
see.
kinds.
It's one of them genomes. It's one of them genomes that them doctors talk about on TV.
That's a southern guy saying northern things.
I
is
try
very
to do
funny to me.
accents and I sound like I'm trying to imitate like a mentally unwell
Can
person.
you talk in a southern accent for me, baby? I don't know why you call me baby and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You kind of have to. It's part of the accent.
It's part of the accent. Yeah.
Earl?
Come on, try harder. Try harder.
Don't make me do it. I don't
The key with accents is picking the words. So
Yeah,
you do
it's
something
true.
like,
Yeah,
come on
yeah.
now, like it's
You guys
can't-
some Southern? Give me some Southern.
It's just come on now.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
One of my favorite.
back down.
This guy's special. You should watch it. It's Joshua Lampley. He's a very funny comedian.
Shout out.
And his special is called "Come On Now," and it inspired me to.
Oh,
and he has
yeah.
a Southern accent, and I quote it in my car. And that's probably where I've gotten good at a Southern accent is quoting this
Dude,
comedians.
I love
this guy's.
I love talking in a Southern accent.
Maybe that'll
Bro,
work itself back.
what's crazy for me is like, so I used to, I don't know if you guys, some of you guys probably know, but like I used to like be really into like rock climbing and mountaineering and stuff like that, like going up like climbing mountains. And
I've seen your Survivor.
oh, my
audition.
Survivor edition. Yeah, it's on the channel. You guys can see it. If you're
It's on
watching,
his,
if
it's
you're,
on his YouTube channel.
yeah, if you're watching the podcast, you can check it out. But
Mountain
fucking
man, Kevin.
no, but like I when I climb, like, and I climbed, I traveled with this dude. We lived in a van together. We traveled all over the world and climbed mountains and stuff. But anytime I start climbing, like I start talking in a country accent. Like I can't help it. Like I'll be like, I'm about to climb this mountain, boy. Like, go give me some slack, baby. Like I for whatever reason, like I fall into this like country accent, and I feel like it's like part of like. There's something about like adventure and doing new things that like brings out like a country side of me. Like if I'm going on an adventure, I just start talking in a country accent, which is like really weird.
I feel like that happened in like sports, like in high school and stuff. Like before games, like people got pumped up, you know, like in like the huddle before they kind of like slip into a Southern twang.
No, exactly. Well, it goes to like code switching, right? Like you guys familiar with the term code switching?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I feel like there's certain, so like if I'm out climbing in the mountains, I'm be like, hell yeah, brother, we're going country, we're going out here to go wild. But then like if I'm like hanging out with like in a city with like a bunch of black dudes, I'm not gonna like naturally go to that. But there's like different situations. Like and I don't know if it's wrong or right, but there's a natural like you kind of like meet the vibe where it's at. And like so I don't know
That's
if
a thing. Yeah.
like I don't know if it like code switching is like I don't even know how the term is viewed. Like I don't know if it's like viewed as like a negative thing, but I think it's a natural thing.
I think it's pretty
like I think you
naturally.
naturally
because you'll do it for like a job interview.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Right.
talk to your boss different the way that we're gonna talk now.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
exactly.
I think it gets dicey when it becomes like a racial or like a cultural thing, because then it's like how much are you like trying to connect with them versus how much are you trying to like seem cool. But
no, for sure. And I fall into that. I think I do fall into that sometimes. It's like I don't know if I definitely don't talk the same to everybody all the time. Like I have like different vibes that
you guys kind of have it worse as white people because everybody thinks that you're
everyone's
racist
judging
all the
you.
time.
Yeah, it's true.
Which fucking sorry, but
Yeah.
Hey,
I
I mean,
sometimes
dude, if white
question
people
if
have
I'm
anything
racist.
going for them, I mean, that's bad. That's good
No.
for other people. We've had it going on for a long time. I'm reading Moby Dick right now, which is
How
interesting.
long have you been reading Moby Dick?
Like with your eyes?
Like a month. It's like 600 pages, but I'm like 240 in. And I just read the chapter of, which is the most important chapter according to the author, is the whiteness of the whale. So it's a whole chapter about.
Is that book like a racial like allegory or something?
It's a religious allegory for sure, and they bring in the aspect of the whiteness of the whale and of how like the great white shark, like certain things, certain things of white are seen as power, and certain things of white, like ghosts, are seen as very scary and negative. So he brings up, I mean, it's a very difficult read. It's not an easy read at all.
The author is like,
But he's bringing up the point of
saying the.
He's not making his point at what he thinks,
okay. Yeah,
but he's bringing up the whiteness of the whale as like white, as something to look at as part of Ahab's dire need to kill this fucking vicious thing, but also like the grand power in nature that the white, like what does white represent in nature? Very interesting. But like,
I mean, it makes sense if you consider like waves. I mean, like a fucking tidal wave is just a big white wall.
right, and like, and
Exactly.
he brings it up as like at night with the moonlight and stuff, like some of the most like eerie, weird feelings that the watches have is not is the vast whiteness of the ocean, and like it's a very interesting and like right before, so like they're just about to, I think they're just about to fucking see a whale, maybe Moby Dick, I don't know, but like it makes sure it's like said in a way in the book that is like, for this book, this is very important for you to know the whole chapter, the whiteness of the whale. And then to break down like what white is in nature before going before going further in the book, which I found was pretty fucking interesting.
You haven't met Moby Dick yet in the book.
Moby Dick has not made his appearance yet. We know of it as being this terror, this mythology amongst whalers, that there's this great
white Jaws, where you don't really see it until like halfway through.
Yeah. So we're well in.
It's all about the anticipation of the kill.
I didn't know that started with Moby Dick. I thought that was like a movie thing. But
I've never read Moby Dick before.
Like the 1800s or whatever. Yeah.
And what part of you is it the fisherman part of you that makes you want to read this, or?
Yeah, I know, because it's not
me one day.
No, because bro, it's not an easy read at all. So I think it is the sailor.
It's old.
It's the sailor fisherman part of me, and I've always thought that I should read Moby Dick, but then like you look at the page count, you start reading it, like not an easy read whatsoever. Like I have to look up. I have to look up so many words.
They don't do it in schools. It's like at college.
No, it's way too like, dude, I've read easier books in college. Like it's a very, very difficult read.
It's a choice.
And I'm like, I've thought like I'm fighting so hard not to bail on this book right now because it's very.
Have you tried audio listening to?
I wouldn't be. It would be worse. Yeah. It would be worse because I need to reread. Like I need to reread paragraphs constantly to then like look up words and like figure out.
You would probably kill for a Kindle version then, because then you could just tap on the words and it would show you the definition.
No, that's true. That is the most convenient thing about a Kindle. That would be help.
They have like. I mean, I had to read Uncle Tom's Cabin for a job like a few years ago.
For a job?
It was at the I shouldn't say this, I guess. Well, I don't work there anymore. It was at her house, like the author's house. It's in Hartford, like the museum that it is now. And like I was in the same boat where it's like that dense like 1800s like language.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't get through it, but I read it basically like with like the spark notes or whatever just up the entire time.
That's what you need.
It was for a job, so it was like I have to do this. Like this is like just work for me. But like I imagine that if I read another old book and I was having trouble with it, like maybe that sort of thing.
That would because like there's a lot of words
like analysis.
There's a lot of words they're using differently, and like that's what's nice. Like I went to school for English. And like what's nice about like reading a book in English is sometimes they set you up, like you spend like a week like setting up with like how they're using the words and stuff so you can like digest it better. But I don't know, like I love classic literature like that because of that shit. Like I mean this book was written in the 1800s and they're talking about like what white means in nature and like bringing in all these little aspects and stuff, so it's super sweet, but it's so hard to fucking get through. So like you said, yes, I wanted to read it because of the sailor fisherman side of me. And I also kind of want to write because of that sailor fisherman side of me. I kind of want to write like a skit or something about nautical stuff.
Yeah.
And so I want to learn more about it.
Have you done that before? Because I know you talk about it a good amount in your stand up.
What's that?
Like your life at sea.
Yeah, I mean, well, I have lots of stuff written as far as like memoir, things of that, like being at sea and like, but not from the Navy. So just between the Navy, like I hate the water. Like, dude, I hate the beach. Like the sun's out. Like I'm getting sunburnt. Like I'd rather be in the snowy mountains. Like sense, fuck that shit. The only reason I've ever spent so much time around the sea is because they paid me.
True.
And I have also, I mean, I was in the Navy for 8 years. I fucking commercial fish for salmon in Alaska for fucking 3 years. Like I have this weird amount of like nautical life that like I think is cool. And bro, like being able to have a boat and be the captain of a boat is probably the most free you could be.
Yeah.
Like you can go anywhere. Like I remember driving like the last season I had in Alaska before I ended that job. Like I was driving, we had two boats. We had the fishing boat for catching salmon, and then he had his wife and his like kid on another little pleasure cruiser, like a Boston whaler. And it had like an outdoor sitting on the top of the boat, like wooden helm. and we're going to like check out some fucking glaciers, and I'm just bobbing and weaving between icebergs and shit, and just like, this is the freest you can be.
Yeah.
But also you get the sense of like the waves and the ocean, and you're like
Total isolation.
you're like I have no control. I am a fucking peasant on this force that has like, if it wants to flip me over, it wants to sink me, it can do it.
Yeah.
Like, so this is like
Forgiving, yeah.
very unforgiving. Like, it's just like, this is the most free, but also like the most like in danger you could be having your own boat. So I think I'm very fascinated with it, which is what's driving me to stick with the nautical Moby Dick stuff, because I do want to write like a comedy about like like I wanted to kind of write a comedy, but I want it to be based off of like some older, I think some of that older traditional sailor shit. I mean, it's like the true, like, it's like the seed of adventure. Like when people started being able to like go across the ocean and go to other like, that's when you're really breaking the barrier between cultures and stuff and adventure, and like
that's like a shift in history too. Like people point at that when people start crossing
I'm sure
the Atlantic, right?
I think
it must have been, yeah. But they were doing it before then. I mean, they have like books about fucking like South America, like down by the Horn, like Patagonia and stuff. Like they were a ship community way before people were sailing across, because they had like, there was like islands that were like inhabited, and there was nothing there for fire, so they had to go to like the land where they could make fire, and then build the fire on boats, and then bring the fire to these desolate places that like didn't have fire.
Imagine being the first person to have to do that, like
crazy shit,
assuming,
dude.
like,
bringing fire
I'm just
over
gonna
the
go out
open
there and
ocean.
hope for the best.
Yeah.
Let's
hope you find an island with wood on it.
Let's hope a wave doesn't put this fire out before we get back.
No, exactly. No, it's
nuts.
It's
I-
fucking
I
insane.
wonder about that a lot, like ancient medicines and stuff. Like, who knew
A lot of people die.
that you had to like shave the bark of this specific tree to
Someone
cure
chewed on
malaria
it
or
once and
whatever,
was like, "My teeth feel better."
yeah.
We should
Just, like,
we
random
should make
shit like
something
that,
for
you
our
know?
teeth with this. Like that's
So many people
crazy.
died before that, and then one person had to just make like a weird mistake, basically, just like an accident, and then
I mean, penicillin was a mistake.
really
Yeah, penicillin was like a random discovery that like was made
Really?
that like saved so many lives.
Well, yeah. So they say when they say in the Navy, you've heard this you were in the Navy, right? What did you do in the Navy, by the way?
I was a submarine mechanic.
Were you stationed in Groton?
I know someone who
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
both of you
That's met both of us?
in the Navy at separate times.
No way.
Yes.
in the Navy.
What did Tyler say his name was?
He must have met us at Groton. When did you get out?
Oh, Tyler McDonald.
Yes.
I know who he's talking about.
Yeah,
because he went to a comedy show.
His friend came over like one day last week or
I
something.
know.
and
I already know who you're talking about.
and
He skydives, right?
Yeah, and Ty was like,
I know,
this
yeah,
guy knows
yeah.
Kevin and Pat. And
What's
I was
his
like,
name? What's his name?
Can't remember off the top of my head.
Me neither. Shout out to you. I used to skydive with him. I used to skydive with
It
him.
might have been T-Div.
Yeah. So what year did you get out of the Navy?
2015, I think.
Okay, yeah. So we were on the same base. We were on the base at the same time, because you got out at Groton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was there from 2013 to 16.
What was
Wow.
your job?
Yeah.
So he was a submarine mechanic.
I was a bosun's mate, so I wasn't a submarine guy at all, but I was there doing maintenance on the boats for the divers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was in the diving, whatever division the divers were in.
Yeah.
I was
Down
the
with,
paint.
like, the
You
tugboats
know the
and
little
shit.
the paint barge.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I worked. I slept. So before I got out of the Navy,
Yeah.
I lived on that paint barge. I slept in the basement of the
There's-
paint barge in a hammock.
There's honestly a chance that I got paint from you.
Yeah, probably.
Because I worked for T-Div
Teskey.
for the last little bit.
Yeah, Teskey.
Teskey.
that's
Yeah,
his
yeah,
name.
yep, yep.
Yeah, tall, like slender guy.
Yep.
I worked for T-Div the last little bit, which is just like a transitive division. That's what it stands for. Basically, just you're waiting to get out, but they have nothing left for you to do.
So you're just
Wait.
painting and stuff like
So
that.
you're just like doing,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just doing maintenance to the base and shit.
yeah, so
so
you
yeah, they,
definitely
like,
got paint from
get
the
you
paint
paint.
barge.
Dude, I
There's
basically-
a whole barge for paint.
He has a floating barge that
That's
had
funny that you slept on the barge because there were other
on the
people in the Navy like living in the warehouse and shit.
Yeah, no, dude. Because all right, so right before I got out of the Navy, I was like, I gotta save money. So I was I used to I had an apartment in El Saybrook. A year before I got out, I stopped my lease there, and I just lived on the base. And I'm in Meriden, so I'm an hour away. So on the weekends, I would come home. But I was like, I got to save as much money as possible. So I was getting that BAH, and I just had a hammock set up with a heater underneath me, and I would sleep in the basement. I would sleep in the paint bars, and in the morning I'd wake up. The gym was open at 4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So I could go to the gym, work out, shower, go to work.
It's all right there.
And I was getting Connecticut BAH is amazing. You're getting like $2,400 a month for housing allowance, and I wasn't paying for housing.
Right.
Like I was just living on base. So I was able to just save and pay off all my bills before I got.
Was that legal?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's legal enough.
Both of you seem unsure, and you were both in the Navy, so
I don't. It's not legal for me to live
It would be
here.
the least illegal thing I did in the Navy.
Yeah. Oh man, I smoked.
Definitely far worse.
There was so many times that I fucking smoked weed on like a long weekend or on leave, and I would just months or just like at least weeks of every time they'd be like, "Doty, come to my office." I'd be like, "Oh fuck, they know. They figured that," because like you'd have a pit. And like how they do the piss test in the Navy is like you can get away with doing shit because they have a box of 9 samples. They test 1 out of each box. If that box fails, they test the whole box. If that box passes, that box passes. So you could have a dirty sample in a box and get away with it. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, I remember, and I mean, I obviously did ample research because I would have like a long weekend, smoke weed, do blow, and then be like, how much time do I got? What do I got to do? What am I dealing with? And it would just be, I just remember for like a month, every time they were like, Doty, come to the office. I was like, oh, it's it. It's done. I'm done. I'm getting fucking discharged.
But nothing.
Like, nothing. No, I got away with it. Honorably discharged, 8 years, fucking disabled veteran, fucking living the dream. So hopefully nobody listens to this that cares to do anything about it. But I'd like more disability if that's possible. I mean, fuck, dude. I'm fucking retarded.
I can help if you need more CTPSD for more disability.
How can you help?
I could
You're gonna
like
traumatize them.
I could go back to my evil ways of traumatizing men from my youth.
Oh, what's one of the example, please?
Well, usually I would just make my dad cry a lot.
By what?
When your dad just wants you to like do stuff with your life, you just got to be like, I don't give a shit about my life. I'm gonna die next year, and then he'll cry. Sorry, Dad. You might watch this. I don't do that anymore. We've been over that.
She's a better person now.
I am a better person. I was mad. I was an angsty teenager. We all have our things.
Your dad just wanted you to get into Southern comedy.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Yes.
All right, we're going here. We gotta wrap it up. But I do have one question that I love to ask at the end of every episode, so we'll end with that. And the question is, you could have any superpower in the world.
Ooh.
You could have it, but you need to make it up right now. And it can't be made up before. You got to think you're making up an original superpower right now. And I will go with Brittany first.
I would like to be able to, like, when I first meet someone, touch them and like shake their hand. We're gonna like shake their hand. Like, we're gonna be clear about that.
I need to feel their dick
I
inside
I
me
would
first.
like to be able to know what their damage is immediately.
Oh.
Immediately. Like, if I want to be like, this guy could be like a good friend of mine. I want to be like, I could date this guy. I want to be able to just like, no. I want to be like, oh, he's got massive mommy and daddy issues. So that's like a no. That way I could just move on.
That's a good superpower. What would you call? What do you think you would call that superpower?
I would call it I don't know. I think it would probably be like something to keep the fuck boys away. But I don't know. What I would call it.
Yeah, like the anti fuck.
Yeah.
Briss.
Yeah, anti. I don't know. I don't really have a good name for it, but that's what I would want.
I like that. I like that. That's solid. Let's go to you, Ish. If you could have any superpower in the world, you could have it, but you need to make it up right now.
I don't know if it's going to be much of a power, but I would like to, like, if I'm tired, I just want to be able to like snap my fingers and just be awake and like energetic and do shit. But then I also want it to go the other way, where if it's like late at night and I'm like awake and like I can't go to sleep, I want to just be able to sleep.
I think that's definitely a superpower.
Yeah.
You know, like just
Yeah.
to
What
have
would
it
you?
be,
What
like,
do you think?
Would you want-
Because right now I
that?
depend on coffee and.
Would you
weed
use
and,
it on
like,
other
vegan shit.
people?
No, no. To be
I
able to
could just do
control
it.
your awakeness.
But would you use it on other people?
No, because that's a little weird. I don't want to be putting people to sleep. I think that's a concerning look. for
Okay.
me. I don't know if I want to be seen doing that. If I can help people with the other thing. Like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah,
you want to be
yeah.
awake right now to go do shit?
Yeah,
Like, bam. But I don't want to be like
What do you think you would call? What do you think you would call that superpower?
something with awakeness, wokeness. It would be- I'm woke.
I'm super woke.
So you're like really tolerant? Oh no, that's not it at all.
No, it's not at all. You tired right
I'm
now?
actually
yeah, a
really
little bit.
racist, but I'm awake.
But if you're tired, I can help you out. What about you, Patrick? If you could have any superpower in the world, you could have it. But what would it be? You need to make it up right now.
I was trying to think of something silly, but I feel like all the cool silly things are already taken.
Nah,
like
man.
grow an extra limb or something like that. Like
I
that.
don't know if that's taken. What kind of limb would you grow? Where?
A tail?
I don't know. I didn't think. Well, so the one that I was gonna say was, just make any food taste like perfect, even if I fuck it up. You
My-
know, just
My
like,
first.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
man,
it,
no,
yeah.
Manny
like
had
even if
this-
I don't have all the ingredients, just like it tastes.
it
Exactly
tastes
how
like
I want
yeah,
it
like
to.
oh, I ran out of salt. Salt.
Fuck it, right?
Yeah, it just goes in there.
Well,
Manny-
wait. So, are you making like if you have a burger in front of you, but you're like, I'm in the mood for pizza? Are you gonna make the burger taste like the pizza?
No, it's gonna taste like what what they expect when they see it, like not what they want. Like so, like if I make them,
Okay.
if I make them like lasagna, it's gonna taste like the lasagna of
Like
their
good
dreams or
lasagna.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you're just never gonna have a bad version of food you
Right.
like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Like all you have to do is
You'll
just
never
like
have
make
bad
it
pizza
look.
again.
All you have to do is
Yeah.
make it look like the thing it's supposed to taste like,
Right.
and the flavors there.
Yeah. So I
That
could
was
even.
just like Play-Doh.
I was gonna say
That's
I could
pretty
even
good.
make it
It's
out of
almost like
clay.
you're upgrading
I could-
the ingredients.
Right, you could make it out of clay, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, this is the best
Yeah.
clay burger I've
That would
ever
be
had."
evil though. I wouldn't do that, but
But you could.
I could
because
I could.
that's your super.
I could if you test me. I could, that could be how I go rogue.
That's a lot like Manny Sierra had a superpower. He said the other day was he would have be able to immediately put the temperature perfect. So if you're like
Oh,
making
yeah,
like a
that's a good
steak or something,
I
you
love
could just
that,
the temp.
yeah.
You don't have to worry about the
That's
temperature.
the worst. Like
You
a
throw it
restaurant
on.
thing.
It is the perfect temperature.
That's great.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I do that with
Like a magic sous vide.
like myself. I do
Yeah.
that with like a room.
What do you
know?
mean?
Like when I go to bed at night, like and like
Oh yeah.
oh, I like put the blanket on. Now I'm too hot. Now I kind of take it off my foot.
All you got to do is
Like, a
think
little
of what
bit.
temperature
Like
you
I would
needed.
just set the room at like the perfect temperature. And just fucking all my stuff
Oh.
has to do with sleep
That's a good one.
because I don't get enough.
Oh, I know, bro. That's the thing. That's the thing. That would be my superpower. It would be to be able to say no to another episode.
Yeah.
No, because like, dude, like, there's so many times I fall asleep on that couch over there watching TV, and it's like, then I wake up at 2 a.m. Then I gotta move to my bed, and it's like, I can't. And maybe this is probably all of us. Like, just get in bed and pretend to sleep, and you'll fall asleep.
Absolutely.
But like I refuse. I refuse. I'll be like nodding off and be like, no, just a little bit more episode.
I didn't like playing a game and stuff.
ridiculous.
The thing for me is my phone because I'll get away from my couch and my TV, and then I'll be like, all right, I am going to bed now, and then I'll make it like 20 minutes, and then be like, I'm still awake, and then I'll just start doom scrolling and shit. So if I could like put away that,
Yeah.
that's like a doable thing. I don't need a superpower to do that. I can.
No, but you do because it's that, dude. It's that difficult.
We're
Like,
that.
funny
We're that.
shit.
fucked
the
up.
world,
Yeah.
the world is that difficult that you cannot put yourself to sleep. Like how hard it is to just like turn things off. Like they say you shouldn't watch screens like an hour or two before getting into bed.
How am I supposed to?
Does any of us here like turn off their screens before
I-
that long before going into bed? I
would
don't.
go to bed to CW fantasy shows where like people are getting killed on a low volume.
What's getting killed on a low volume?
I mean, I watch like the 100 on like this on like Netflix.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I'm just watching like weird sci-fi shit that like where a lot of people die and there's like weird creatures and
Yeah.
that's what I go to sleep to. I don't know if that's healthier.
What kind of dreams do you have?
I don't dream.
Me neither.
I only remember my nightmares and those are like rare.
Oh.
You don't dream.
I mean, like
you
I'm
have a
sure I
dreamer?
dream. Everybody
All the
dreams,
time.
but I don't remember.
Do you smoke a lot of weed before going to bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that weed fucks up your REM.
But-
so like if you smoke like right before going to bed.